Hey y'all, how's it going? Here with a special announcement, or I guess you could say public service announcement and discussion. I've actually been sort of called to do a video about this in the past, and I did do one on my other channel about clickbait horoscopes, but I feel like there needs to be something more in-depth for people to see, because as horoscopes and as readings and things like that become more and more popular and bigger into the zeitgeist, there's going to be, inevitably, a shift towards the commercial. There's nothing wrong with, obviously, doing it for a business, but I've done a lot of readings for people recently, especially a marked number in the last couple of months, for folks that are really getting sucked in and actually having their lives kind of changed for the negative by being drawn in to readings and services that are focusing solely on, targeting a person's pain in a way where it's sort of creating this draw that resonates with any kind of wounds, especially when it comes to the idea of love horoscopes, lovescopes, twin flame horoscope, clickbait taglines like he wants you to call him, or she wants you back, or he's sorry. These are very difficult matters to discuss because everyone deserves a right to do the readings the way they want to, but you do also need to beware that if something like that is being presented for a general audience, for hundreds if not thousands of people to view, there is no way that a scope like that is actually going to be providing accurate or intimate information close enough to your particular situation to actually be of service. A lot of folks have been asking me about making love horoscopes and can I do things specifically geared towards love, and I will not for this very reason. I have a section of my horoscopes that, is dedicated entirely to love and relationships while looking at everything else, and honestly, I think that that is how it should be when it comes to dealing with general audiences. When you're doing a general horoscope like that, where you're looking at everything, the money, the messages, the challenges, the love, all of that, what is happening is that, you're also being able to clue into, again, singular events and singular occurrences. And that's how a general reading works. It looks at events. It's not meant to be guru sage advice to be the be-all end-all. There could be general advice as a moral of the story of the week, again, in all things, but it's not the be-all end-all getting into a deep, intimate relationship discussion relating to behavioral psychology and how to, work on a relationship and all of that kind of stuff. I could not take all of the Aries people in the world and give them a love horoscope that's going to guarantee them all to be in some kind of soulmate relationship. That doesn't work. But you have to beware, there are people out there that are doing that. I think the reason that that kind of thing has such a draw is because we are, slowly but surely as a society, starting to feel the disconnect that, we're all getting in the digital era. And in a way, we're trying to find a sense of unity and collective. And because a lot of people come from a background where there is a collective, whether it's a large family, a large group of friends, a church, an organization of some kind that, again, followed, I guess you could say, maybe some kind of teaching or some kind of propagation of information, a standard to take the ambiguity out of things, people are gravitating towards those that are marketing that. The problem is that just because a person might market that and market it successfully, it does not necessarily mean that what they're giving is good, because we're never going to get the complete whole for a general audience. Now, I've had readings with people, again, in recent history, where the first thing they do is speak to me like I'm somehow in the know of what every other reader talking about these subjects is doing, and it's like, I'm not. I actually communicate with very few readers on YouTube. I'm not, again, doing Lovescope readings. I don't know that person's individual chart until I load it. I don't really understand what the expectation is until I take a step back and then I realize, again, this is starting to feel or be treated like church, like a congregation, like a ministry. And it's almost like somebody's marketing the good feeling for the duration of the video, the positive affirmations and the thoughts and all of that. It's not actually helping, though. You know, when you get a reading from somebody, it should be something that is more, again, deep and intimate and tied to your personal experience. It should not be something that, you know, is a be-all, end-all platitude. There is no categorical imperative or anything out there that is universally going to work for everybody. But because that's being marketed this way, again, especially in the Lovescope sphere, a lot of people who might be, again, in a place of emotional suffering or doubt or anxiety are getting, you know, again, manipulated in a sense or drawn in. So I'm going to make an appeal to all of you to maybe take a second and ask why you want Lovescopes and things like that so much. This is about information. This is about strategizing. This is about getting the lay of the land, getting facts, getting predictions, getting all kinds of things that we can use to better bring a person into harmony. Certainly wouldn't use it as a way to hawk hope onto people so that they could feel good for 20 minutes. And I think that maybe there is a need for a lot of the spiritual collective to take a step back, because they might actually be, you know, accidentally falling into that pattern. A reader with integrity is not going to try to use pain points and tags to, you know, get what they want. You know, if something is laden with twin flames and he wants you back and call her and all of that kind of stuff, you really need to stop and think, does this person actually get that message through the reading? Is this person telling the same thing to everybody they're giving a reading to? That might be something to think about. You know, you want to make sure that you are, again, getting the best for your time and your dollar, or your pound, or your euro, or whatever you're spending. I know that the way that this message is coming off can sound like it's negative and disparaging, and sometimes a caution is. But I'm not trying to put negative energy out into the universe, just like I wouldn't tell you I'm trying to put negative energy out there because I'm saying the check engine light is on in the car. That doesn't mean I'm trying to manifest evil or anything like that. I'm actually trying to get people to stop and think about the confirmation bias, or again, the desire for affirmation and confirmation of feelings being exploited. And because that has become such a very big movement, we also have a lot of these readers being, you know, told by social media, YouTube, and things like that to do this in order to make money. Then it's up to the consumer and the readers with integrity to actually step up and talk about what this is really all about versus what it's trying to, you know, maybe turn itself into or be marketed as a way to make a buck. Some of these people are in the same situations as you, and they're not necessarily doing anything to be commercially disingenuous. Maybe they're just simply in a situation where they're reaching out to others in the same issue. I wouldn't go to somebody who didn't know how to solve the problem that they had if it was the same problem as mine. I would also want a reader, not somebody to just chew the fat with. So it's important to know who you're getting this information from. This is a time where a lot of people are going to need to be putting it on themselves to be able to discern and see integrity. The more we get digital, the more we're going to be bombarded with all kinds of information. And you have to ask yourself every once in a while, am I asking for the truth? Or am I going to be sold hope? Am I looking for a, you know, an accurate connection that can give me an overview, maybe again in a general horoscope? Or am I going for the feel-goods that I might get from a congregation or a collective or a church community? And when I say church, I'm not talking to about any one church, you know, church with a capital C, okay? It's important that we be able to discern because, again, eventually, and if you're one of those readers out there, eventually you're going to have somebody get real tied up and real messed up, and they're going to come to somebody like me, and I'm going to tell them, hey, that person screwed you over because they were doing that. You have to make sure that, you know, you're able to take care of yourself. You know, build a trusting relationship with what your content is, whatever you're getting, the content that you want to see. it's not a good idea to make a reader or a horoscope channel your source of joy, your source of energy and motivation. That comes from within. Readings are about getting information, truths of all kinds, easy truths, harsh truths, good truths, not so good truths, and we have to be able to work with it, okay? One of the things I get sometimes is that, there are people out there that, want to just get a positive message so that they believe that once they get that message and they hold on to it, they'll go out and manifest it. That's not actually how it works. If you want to study a little bit more on how manifestation and energy works, check out my other channel. Even if you're not into the occult and witchcraft and things like that, like I am, you probably will get a few tips and pointers, especially through the Spiritual Awakening series, to learn a little bit more about how this actually happens. It's not enough to hold on to the thought. But that's for another video. So, in closing, thank you so much everyone for watching. I just wanted to really put that out there because I keep seeing more and more people getting jacked, getting, messed up, getting advice from people who are talking to crowds that are not helping their relationships. No, I'm not going to do special twin flame love tag horoscopes, because sadly this trend isn't going anywhere anytime soon, but we can stem the tide, and I call on the readers out there to also, again, tap into your integrity. If you want to jump on this bandwagon with me, I think that there does need to be something to turn away the ability for people to, be as provocative as they can through, again, the selling of pain points and tags and buzz terms, and maybe we can actually bring this out of the polluted mire that is the digital era commercial age, alright? Anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sorry for being so dang long-winded. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful 2019, and if you ever want to get a session with me, just go to my website, integrativemysticism.com.